The 2018 MLB season is finally here, and over at RotoQL, we have some really exciting new features for our MLB tool that we want to show you guys for this year. So I'm going to break down some of those right now. The first thing that I'm really excited about is the max player exposure. This is going to be really helpful if you're building a lot of tournament teams. I usually make between 20 and 30 a night, so it's really going to save me a lot of time. As you can see over here, I've selected a couple pitchers who I'm interested in tonight. And if we go over to exposure right now, we can see that all these guys, there's only two of them right now because it's set for 100%. But if I wanted to break that down and say, 40% for my highest player, I'd put that in there, hit optimize. And as you can see, everyone here, the highest exposure is going to be 40% with some other guys sprinkled in there. And you do the same for hitters too. If we go over to hitters, as you can see, a guy like Mike Trout, he's a great player, but you probably don't want him in every single one of your 20 lineups. Baseball is a pretty high variance sport, so we'll lower that to, let's say, 60%. Optimize it. As you can see here, you have a lot of guys in this 60% range. Now, kind of the next thing that I want to show you guys that I'm really excited about is some updates to the individual player cards. So if you go to Mike Trout here, you're going to have the usual current season, last season, home and away splits. But what's really cool is you can now see these splits mixed in with the handiness of the starter from the opposing team. So Mike Trout, great player, a guy you can look to in cash games, going up against a right-hander, Kendall Graveman in Oakland. So let's see how he did last season against righties on the road. So if we lock filters, away, righty, pretty good. Met value 57% of the time, which in baseball, if you're not familiar, very high variance sport. That's pretty good. Doubled his value over 10% of the time. Certainly a guy you can look at. Another thing I want to show you guys is stacking. As many of you know who are familiar with MLB's DFS, stacking is one of the most important things that you can do. It's really going to determine your upside in tournaments is if you get stacks right. So for that, you're going to click this Stacks and Groups tool, Stack Research, and from here, you really have all the tools at your disposal to really pick out the best stacks for the night. You can do 2-player stacks, 3-player stacks, all the way to 5 players, which is the maximum on DraftKings. You can sort them by ceiling right here. No surprise, some of these Angels guys high up there. Value, you can get cheap stacks this way. I like to do that a lot. Total, and then this is kind of just the best stacks of the night. So Mike Trout, Justin Upton, and a Elton Simmons stack looks pretty good tonight. I can add that into my lineups and then adjust the exposure from here. The final thing that I'm really excited about going into this season is some updates to the Games tab. From here, as you know, you can view all the over-unders, the spreads, as well as the money line for these individual games. This really helps me to narrow down the games that I want to stack, players that I want to target, and also pitchers you can find in good environments. In addition to this, you're going to get some updated information on park factors. As you can see, wind is going to be blowing out in Camden Yards tomorrow. Over/under currently set at 9.5. This is a great hitting environment, and also this year we have dew point as well if you really want to factor in the weather to some of your decision-making skills. So this is just some of the new things that we're bringing to the table at RotoQL this year, and I'm happy to show you guys more